Hi. And your background is so relaxing and peaceful. Oh, one of my friends at work, one of my coworkers, was like, "You should do a podcast." And I'm like, huh? And I'm like, "Well, that's when I stream. I just randomly talk about whatever shit's on my mind." No, I think it doesn't get too much attention, but hey, at least I get to be distracted while I do it, right? True story, I did not check the feed last night after I did it to see if it worked. I would just like to believe that my settings are decent now. Oh no, but I did do it like the first night before it had processed. I saw it. And it looked fine. Oh yes. Okay. So we have recruited Vivian and Sarah. So let's see what people have to say. Cassandra.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about the Seekers?
The Seekers of Truth were born from the original Inquisition long ago, when it united with the Chantry. Seekers stood above the Templars, watching over them but also investigating magical events they couldn't handle. We were meant to be incorruptible, above reproach. How seldom does reality match the ideal?
What are Seekers exactly?
Those who know anything of us think we are Templars. We do not use lyrium, however. Our abilities are different, as was our original purpose. We disciplined the Templars and were accountable only to the Divine. And not even her, truthfully.
So the Seekers commanded the Templars?
No, the Order didn't assume command until after the rebellion. The Templars have always feared us. When a Seeker arrived at a circle, they knew trouble was afoot. That kind of power is troubling. You begin to think you are the only one who can solve the world's problems. If you don't see a problem, it doesn't exist. If someone insists it does, they are the blind ones.
Do you think that kind of problem could ever be fixed?
Possibly. Though the Seekers themselves would need to change. They were clearly not willing to, even though they abandoned everything they stood for to avoid it. In my heart, I believe they can still be salvaged, but not by their own hands.
I hate the hand sync. That's all the characters come do the same hand sync. I hate that.
You mentioned that Seekers have different abilities from Templars.
Entirely. A Templar's abilities come from lyrium and are designed to hunt mages. Ours come from ritual and many years of dedicated training. We cannot be possessed by demons and are immune to mind control. Useful considering our role. Seekers can gain other gifts, but that depends on the individual.
What kind of gifts do you have?
I can set the lyrium within a person's blood aflame. Both mages and Templars bend before my will. Some Seekers use it to interrogate, others simply to paralyze. Once there was a Seeker who could use it to kill. That particular gift is considered rare.
How does someone become a Seeker?
Most Seekers begin training in their youth. I was much older, an exception due to my noble birth. We train rigorously for years. Our bodies and minds must be elastic to undergo the vigil, and most fail even then.
Is the vigil some kind of initiation?
It is the rite every Seeker must go through in order to summon their gifts. A full year of fasting, prayer, and separation from all distractions, including other people. We empty ourselves of all emotion, focusing only on the purity of our devotion. And the moment it finally ends, it's wonderful. Faith realized. I cannot put it into words.
I wish I could experience that.
If the vigil was not so arduous, I'd say more should attempt it. What if mages never needed to fear possession by demons? I'm told it is impossible, however. I suppose I'll never know the truth of it now.
Why did your order turn against the Chantry?
We originally united with the Chantry through a treaty that stated they would keep mages under control. It was felt Most Holy had tacitly allowed the Circle of Magi to vote on its independence, thus breaking the treaty. The Seekers saw themselves as justified, and they led the Templars into a war of righteousness.
You sound like you disagree.
We knew what was happening at Kirkwall, where the Mage Rebellion began. We looked into reports of Knight Commander Meredith's harsh treatment of her charges years earlier. But we found so many shocking cases of magical corruption, it was decided her actions were justified. If we'd been there when it happened, if we'd looked harder at the root causes...
You seem to care a great deal about it.
Too much, if you ask the rest of my order. When faced with a problem, the Seekers would close ranks and crush it. We would find an answer, but only once we felt we weren't being coerced. The moment the mages voted for independence, our response was predictable. It was difficult to watch.
I've no more questions.
What's interesting is I was just thinking that there's not that many sort of conversation choices. You know, you just sometimes will not something can be no, but then I got to the thing with the 4 different responses, and I realized that it's conversation paths you can choose to follow, and yes, following them in and of itself doesn't change too much, but buried deep within, it comes down to how do you respond to the conversation path. So I'm much more okay with that. All right, Colin, what do you got to say? See if I can. I don't think I can get a better camera angle, but we'll try.
Did you need something?
Why would Templars break away from the Chantry?
The Order believes the Chantry no longer supports their efforts. Not to the extent they should.
His voice is quiet.
But the Templars have served the Chantry for ages.
In that time, they've come to take the Order's services for granted. Templars risk their lives against blood magic, demons, abominations. I feel as if those efforts are dismissed. I may disagree with the Order's actions, but I'm here as proof of it. I sympathize with their frustrations.
What do you think of the people you work with?
What do you mean?
How do you like working with Leliana?
The Inquisition would not exist. I may not always agree with her methods, but she's more passionate about her cause than anyone. Cassandra may have declared the Inquisition publicly. Liliana is just as responsible for its formation.
What do you think of our ambassador?
We haven't. How she delights in meeting with nobles all day is beyond me. But I enjoy working with her.
Are you satisfied with the Inquisition's forces?
Our numbers are small, but they suit our needs for the time being. Some Templars have joined us instead of following the Order. They've proven invaluable in training the efforts.
I should let you get back to work.
Chin's a bit off. The blush is weird. You only see it in certain angles. Like straight on, you don't see it. Anyway, I may fix it. I may just ride it out. Alright, what is these two? Who else do we have here? Ah, yes.
You're worried about the rift. I understand that. We'll need some of bandages.
And how much is Mother Giselle willing?
Can you really put a price on the love of Andraste?
Trusts in the Maker. Fire is her water. As the moth sees light and goes
Need
toward
something?
flame, she should see fire and go.
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
Are you from Ferelden? Orlais?
Free marches, born and raised in Kirkwall. And despite whatever you've heard, no, Kirkwall's not that bad.
I'm not clear on your line of work. You're a merchant?
I'm a businessman. My family has a seat in the Dwarven Merchants Guild. Merchants buy and sell goods. Businessmen buy and sell stores. In my spare time, I manage a spy network, and occasionally, I write books.
You're an author. What kind of books have you written?
Tried my hands in a few genres. My crime serials are my most popular. Hard in Hightown, guards breaking the rules to get things done. The Tale of the Champion is the most famous thing I've written, or infamous maybe. I started a romance serial once, Swords and Shields, but to be honest, I don't have a knack for romances. Most of my stories end in tragedy. Probably that says something unfortunate about me personally.
How do you and Cassandra know each other?
You heard about the Kirkwall Chantry being destroyed? The guy responsible used to be a friend of mine. The Seeker had questions about that, and I had answers.
Where did you get that crossbow? I've never seen one like it.
Bianca? She's one of a kind. Funny story. I bought a salvaged ship and found her locked in a dragonbone reinforced chest in the hold. I broke 36 lockpicks and blunted 9 saws opening that trunk, but it was worth it.
Who is she named for?
I can't tell you.
And the reason for that is?
Complicated. It's the one story I'll never tell. We just have to leave it at that.
Thanks, Varric.
No problem.
Eric! So what's the... Let's go talk
Be with you.
to Mr. Asshole.
As I explored the Fade, I felt the presence of an intriguing artifact in the hinterlands. If you are willing, I would like to locate it. I have marked its location as best I could determine.
What do you know about the Fade?
A great deal from my wanderings. There are few hard facts, but I can share what I have learned.
I'd like to know more about demons.
Your Dalish say the demons hate the natural world, seek to bring their chaos and destruction to the living. But such simplistic labels misconstrue their motivations, and in so doing, do all a great disservice. Spirits wish to join the living, and a demon is that wish gone wrong.
Is there a way to coexist? To live with them? If not in peace, at least without such active confrontation.
Not in the world we know today. The veil creates a barrier that makes true understanding most unlikely. But the question is a good one, and it matters that you thought to ask.
I'd like to know more about the Veil.
Circle mages call it a barrier between this world and the Fade. But according to my studies in ancient elven lore, that is a vast oversimplification. Without it, imagine if spirits entered freely. The Fade was not a place one went, but a state of nature like the wind.
I don't know if I can imagine that.
Try. Imagine if spirits were not a rarity, but a part of our natural world. Like a fast-flowing river. Yes, it can drown careless children, but it can also carry a merchant's goods or grind a miller's flour. That is what the world could be if the Veil were not present.
better or worse?
So, I didn't disagree with him. I didn't even say it was dangerous. I just said it was strange. And he's already starting to disagree. It's just like, fuck you, Solus.
I'd like to know more about the breach.
Simply put, it is a tear in the veil between this world and the Fae, allowing spirits to enter the world physically. Small tears occur naturally when magic weakens the veil, or when spirits cluster in an area that has seen many deaths. But your mark allows you to exert some control over the breach. That means it was created deliberately.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
What do dwarves do when magic gets out of control?
We call the Templars, just like the rest of you.
Even down in Orzammar?
Friend, I've never even seen Orzammar. But dwarves don't have mages, so magic likely isn't a big problem.
That dwarf, by the way, is voiced by Mark Meir, who is the male version of Commander Shepard.
Reports of fey drifts and demons keep coming. The people are terrified, and it's only getting worse. The only thing that will calm their fears now is the hope that someone out there can save them. You have to be that someone. No one else has any power over the rifts. Seal them. Your legend will spread, and Thedas will learn to trust the Inquisition. Why do you want me to seek out the rebel mages? Why do you care? I've known mages. Some of them were better people than me. And yet I'm free and they're not. It's not right. They called you the left hand of the Divine. That they did? What of it? What exactly does the left hand of the Divine do? A Divine always has enemies, and Justinia had more than most. I protected her. I watched, had an ear to every door. I identified threats, and I dealt with them. Why did Justinia have so many enemies? There were many who felt she was unfit to be divine. She had a past, a worldly life. Unlike many, she wasn't given to the Chantry as a child. She chose it, and somehow that made her unworthy. And because they thought she was unworthy, they wished her harm. So you were her spy master too? I handled difficult situations that couldn't be resolved through more delicate means. I'd like to hear about Justinia. What was she like? A friend. A mentor. Like me, she had secrets, made mistakes. It made her human. I think her followers responded to that. How did you and Justinia meet? I met her a long time ago, before she became divine. Before she was Justinia. When I met her, she was Mother Dorothea. I was at my lowest. Broken, lost. And she saved me. No, wait. She hates it when I say that. I saved myself. She just showed me it was possible. Was there something more than friendship between you? You're asking if we were lovers. Typical. I was devoted to her, therefore it must be romantic. Love is common. Love is simple. My bond with Justinia was something greater. She was a sister, a mother, a teacher. So to answer your question, yes, it was more than friendship. We'll talk more later.
Alright.
We can get that for you right away, sir.
beans more than beans.
You can't eat a sword, boy. Beans. That's what we need. Beans and bread, and I can keep everyone here fat and happy for as long as it takes.
Now that we've pissed off Liliana, I don't think there's anything in here. There is nothing. There is nothing here. I thought there was another quest I'm missing.
Cedric will see what he can do.
You're back. And in one piece.
I found notes by a Master Tajan. I wondered if you might be interested.
Let me have a look. This should... Oh, I see. With a distillate of... The old codger was on the edge of a breakthrough here, but he couldn't see it. You want some of these mixed up? You just give the word.
Sweet.
Farewell.
Yay. Alright.
See that new elf?
Sarah? She's a nice lady. You're right, I didn't mean anything by it. It's good to see us all coming together to serve the Maker.
Could be better.
She's amazing with that sitar, whatever this is.
That's why.
If you say so.
Can I get you a seat? Farewell. Goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sarah. This time we're going to be chasing a romance with her the whole way down.
So, this is it, huh? Oh no, it's fine, yeah? It's just, I thought it'd be bigger. That would have been hilarious if you were a man, right? Wasted. Anyway, stopping wars should earn more sovereigns than this. Need things back to normal for coins to be flowing again. Another reason the Templars and Mages need to be sat down.
The Templars and the Mages? Most people pick a side.
Most people are stupid.
But where do you stand on the war?
In the frigging middle with everyone else. You know what I hear about mages? Nothing, until one goes all demony. Know what I hear about Templars? Nothing, until they take maybe mages. They're too busy to look up where the real questions are.
Is there something else you're looking for? Like, what's behind all this?
Maybe. I don't know. First things first, right? I help you, march, arrow, kick. Then people stop being stupid, and everything starts to make sense again. Sound good to you, old-touched Lady Herald?
I think I'll enjoy having you around, Sarah. I hope you'll feel the same.
Kinda. Suppose. Maybe. See you, Herald. Herald. I have to do something about that.
Well, that was unexpectedly odd. I've only done so. I can tell you this. So yeah, I'm gonna ruthlessly prefer chase the romance option with Sarah. Just I don't know. This is what it is. Cassandra's was fucking adorable, but I'm not playing a dude, so it didn't work, and it's really fucking frustrating. That whole conversation, I'm flustered right now. I'm wandering around. That conversation option that I just took reminded me of Femshep talking to Jacob in Mass Effect 2. Like, it was a bit on the rough side, however.
That's the picture of what a circle mage should be.
She looks like a
And
noble.
those
It's arrogant.
It is not arrogant to be
for
unafraid.
dancing. They should start doing it. There we go. Now that way.
There was no word for
Good luck.
see
Hello, Sarah.
It's good you've returned. We heard of your encounter.
You heard?
My agents in the city sent word ahead, of course.
It's a shame the Templars have abandoned their senses, as well as the capital.
At least we know how to approach the mages and Templars now.
Do we? Lord Seeker Lucius is not the man I remember.
True, he has taken the orders somewhere, but to do what? My reports have been very odd.
We must look into it. I'm certain not everyone in the Order will support the Lord Seeker.
Or the Herald could simply go to meet the mages in Redcliffe instead.
You think the Mage Rebellion is more united? It could be 10 times worse.
I am going to go get some water. It would be weird for me to, as a mage to go choose the Templars, wouldn't it?
I could at least find out what the mages want.
No doubt what they've always wanted. Support for their cause.
We shouldn't discount Redcliffe. The mages may be worth the risk.
They are powerful, Ambassador, but more desperate than you realize.
You think the invitation could be some kind of trap?
If some among the rebel mages were responsible for what happened at the Conclave.
The same could be said about the Templars.
True enough. Right now, I'm not certain we have enough influence to approach the Order safely.
Then the Inquisition needs agents in more places. That's something you can help with.
In the meantime, we should consider other options. There is one other matter. Several months ago, the Grey Wardens of Ferelden vanished. I sent word to those in Orlais, but they have also disappeared. Ordinarily, I wouldn't even consider the idea they're involved in all this, but the timing is curious. That does sound odd. I agree. The others have disregarded my suspicion, but I cannot ignore it. 2 days ago, my agents in the hinterlands heard news of a Grey Warden by the name of Blackwall. If you have the opportunity, please seek him out. Perhaps he can put my mind at ease. And if he can't? Then there may be more going on than we thought.
Actually, for this playthrough, I now have my party.
You've never been to a circle, as far as I can tell, yet you're remarkably skilled. Were you self-taught?
I figured out enough on my own.
You're fortunate to be a quick learner. In my own experience, nothing is more deadly to a young mage than a lack of knowledge. Which makes the current state of things precarious. What do you imagine will happen if the circles are not restored? Do you foresee the Dalish taking us all under their wing?
The war benefits no one. It must end. An order must be restored.
If only the rebels saw things so clearly. Justinia's death has shattered the balance of power in Thedas. If it is not restored quickly, countless lives will be lost. Mages, Templars, innocent people of all kinds now look to the Inquisition to decide their fate.
I'll try not to let them down.
Failure is a luxury we cannot afford, my dear. For almost 1,000 years, the world believed it was in the hands of the Maker. And now many believe you are the agent of his will. Whatever the truth is, that belief gives you power.
If that's true, then I'll put it to good use.
I suppose we'll see. I've stolen enough of your time, my dear. Don't let me keep you.
I'll tell you this. One of the things I love most about this game is how much it makes me look forward to Dragon Age, Mass Effect, and Andromeda.
Is there anything I can do to help you or your people?
My healers would benefit from more supplies. We have run short of even common goods with so many wounded. If you could deliver this list and the items on it to Quartermaster Thren, she could get us what we need. It may not seem like much, but it would enable my healers to save many lives.
Growing up Dalish, I heard little about your chantry. Can you tell me about it?
Of course. Too many think that the Chant of Light should only be sung by humans. The truth is that knowledge of the Maker and Andraste should be open to all who wish to learn of him. We believe the Maker created us, and that mankind's sinful nature caused him to turn away. With Andraste's blessing, the Maker will forgive mankind once the Chant of Light is sung from all corners of this world.
Why does the chantry allow only human women to become priestesses?
The official doctrine is that elves and dwarves have turned further from the Maker than humanity. And as for men, the chant holds that they are more vulnerable to anger or passion. But in truth, it is simply political, added after Andraste's death, like too many of our beliefs.
If you don't believe these restrictions are what Andraste wanted, why haven't you tried to change them?
Has the current state of the world not taught you the folly of fighting too many battles at once? I chose to use what power I had to help peasants forgotten by the nobles of Orlais. I believed there would be time to address their inequality under the Chantry once we had saved them from starving.
What is your stance on magic?
Andraste put it simply. Magic must serve man, not rule over him. However, those words must be put into the proper historical context. Andraste led a rebellion against the Tevinter Imperium, whose magisters controlled most of the world at the time. Even then, she never called for all mages to be put to death. She believed in peaceful coexistence.
I don't recall the Chantry being as tolerant of magic as you describe.
No. The Chantry is an imperfect vessel, pulled in every direction by those who would steer its course. Yet the Templars rebelled precisely because divine Justinia was not restrictive enough. Perhaps the Inquisition will find a better way.
There were calls for an exalted march to put down the Mage Rebellion. What was your opinion?
It was ignorant gossip. An exalted march only succeeds when it carries the will of the people. Even then, it cannot be undertaken lightly. People are too easily frightened. We cannot destroy everything they fear. An exalted march is justified only against a true threat to this whole world. It is an offense to the Maker to use it as a political bludgeon, or as a means of spreading the chant of light.
A pity voices like yours were not louder when an exalted march crushed my people.
That is a hotly debated matter in some circles of the Chantry. Your people had conquered Mont Semeld and threatened Valreo itself. They were not helpless victims. But even then, Orlais was the only nation to provide troops. It was hardly an exalted march of all the faithful. The Maker wishes his world to spread by example, not by war. We win no converts with blood.
Farewell, revered mother.
Maker go with you.
Apothecary Adon wanted to know when you might be able to provide the materials he needs.
Greetings. I asked Adon not to rush us. Demon essence is dangerous.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Just tell him we'll have it for him as soon as we can.
What do the people make of us?
Despite our fame, we're low on steadfast allies. We must aim for more.
Any thoughts on the people here?
Who did you mean?
Commander Cullen came to mind.
The commander is an intelligent, cautious man. I'm grateful he's in charge of our standing army. Still, he does sometimes resemble the man with a hammer to whom everything appears as a nail.
What is she writing?
I was thinking of Cassandra.
Seeker Pentagast is a princess of the Kingdom of Nevarra, although that barely seems important to her. She was not interested when I asked if we might make use of her royal relations. Still, the Inquisition would not have formed without Cassandra. She's an extraordinarily driven woman.
What do you think of Vivienne?
We've met a few times before at court. She remains a truly accomplished player of the game. So long as her interests align with yours, Madame Vivienne will be a most valuable ally.
What's your impression of Solus?
I suppose I should be wary of an apostate, but our elven mage has conducted himself with the utmost propriety. And he has the most fascinating stories.
I was thinking of Varric.
Oh, I could listen to his tales for hours. He actually let me read a chapter of his next book he's writing. My friends would be sick with envy if they knew. It's excellent, but a bit different from his past works. Only 3 beheadings so far.
I'd love to know how you and Sarah get along.
I know she extracts gossip from the servants, and she keeps prying into things. Sarah's ability to vanish whenever her mischief's discovered must come in handy, however, I'm sure.
Let's speak later.
Another time.
Hello? Can I help you with something?
I'll speak with you later.
Travel safely.
Okay, then. I think that's it for everyone. Right.
Excuse me. I've got a message for the Inquisition, but I'm having a hard time getting anyone to talk to me.
You are much taller than I thought you were. Hi, Graham.
Who are you, soldier?
Cremisius Aclasi with the Bulls Chargers Mercenary Company. We mostly work out of Orlais and Navarra. We've got word of some Tevinter mercenaries gathering out on the Storm Coast. My company commander, Iron Bull, offers the information free of charge. If you'd like to see what the Bulls Chargers can do for the Inquisition, meet us there and watch us work.
What can your Bulls Chargers offer the Inquisition?
We're loyal, we're tough, and we don't break contracts. Ask around Val Royeaux. We've got references.
Check something. I knew it! Damn, she's good. By the way, Captain Janeway voices Flemeth, who was a major minor character. How about that? In both Dragon Age 1 and 2. Don't know about Inquisition, but there you go. I think it was here. One of these said it. One of these. I had no idea who voiced Crim until I just looked it up, and it was only because like one of these words had a very familiar tone to it. Ladies and gentlemen, Commander Shepard.
What should I know about your commander?
Iron Bull. He's one of those Kunari, the big guys with the horns. He leads from the front. He pays well, and he's a lot smarter than the last bastard I worked for. Best of all, he's professional. We accept contracts with whoever makes the first real offer. You're the first time he's gone out of his way to pick a side.
Why did your commander send us this information?
Iron Bull wants to work for the Inquisition. He thinks you're doing good work.
I look forward to meeting this Iron Bull.
We're the best you'll find. Come to the Storm Coast and you can see us in action.
Femshep, by the way. Jennifer Hale. I knew it. And the rest of that whole speech, I did not hear Hale. Mark Meir.
I heard the Templars have withdrawn. Seems odd. I can see them breaking the Chantry's chain, but not running from a fight.
What do you know of the Templars?
Where do you think they get their lyria?
Oh, hey, they're in sync again. That's Mark Meir. That's Mark Meir's normal voice. I think, but I'm not entirely certain.
Listen, I'm not saying that the Chantry doesn't do good work, but there's more to life than singing and praying. You used to feel that way too.
How I feel has nothing to do with what must be done right now.
I think, and I'll look it up.
And I shall embrace you.
There was no
in
word
my
for
arms
heaven or
lies
for
it.
earth or sea or sky.
And Mother Giselle will
All
treat
that
all
existed
demon
was
claw wounds
silence.
as you suggest, to deal
Then
with the
the
venom.
voice of the Maker rang out. The first word
Greetings.
And his word became all that might be.
You must speak with most everyone here. How are people doing?
Hope and fear in equal measure. No one really knows what it means when an Inquisition is called. Yet, I imagine it's no better for you.
Let's check.
You've got my sympathies, for what it's worth.
I'm fairly certain. But let's double check. Dang it, stop, thingy. Aha! That is also Mark Meer.
Until later.
So he's got a very recognizable normal voice, but he does seem to be able to bury it in other characters. But I had no idea that FemShep was Clem until like I said, no idea. Damn. I love Jennifer Hale. She's fucking amazing. Anyway. There's another process.
Maker, though the darkness comes upon me, I shall embrace the light. I shall weather the storm.
She remains
I shall
loyal to
endure.
the apothecary would like to
What
know
you
why
have
they need so
created,
much danger.
no one can tear us
Have you
asunder.
seen other wives?
Oh,
I'll just tell him that, Enchanter.
Much appreciated.
Okay.
These truths the Maker has revealed to me, as there is but one God.
For heaven or for earth, for sea or sky, all that existed was
Apothecary Adon says you'll have the reagents you requested soon.
Alright. Well, all that stuff's done. Let's go back to...
Has Cassandra spoken to you about my new recruits?
They are not your recruits, Commander. They're ours.
Yay, a new horse. $37 times.
at your service.
Thank you, Josephine. Josephine from that one. Again, I think Josephine would be the best one for someone that is welded. Any options over here? What do we got? Two. Where's Josephine? I need her. They killed that dragon, by the way.
Let's see what we have.
We got our coin. Build watchtowers. Hey. That quest is actually one of my favorites because it is an actual change in the stagnancy that I was talking about. I don't really need Cullen yet. So Cullen, you get some money, buddy.
To work?
Yep. Go protect some people, buddy. Champions of the Just. Now I think we're going to go ahead and head back to the hinterlands. We're going to use Sarah, Cassandra, and Vivian. This will be our party for this playthrough. It just kind of fits how I work. Not yet, but it sort of will. This time, you know. Now then, we're off to see the wizard, I think. Hmm.
Dispatch for you.
What is it?
This could help us.
Out of nowhere. So this is like normally just a background scene. Some random like place in the middle of nowhere.
Something worth chasing?
And this is kind of what I was talking about. Like it's a very dense. That's just a random, like a random, little cottage. You never even wouldn't even think to go into it in your normal RPG, or at least JRPGs, right? You just kind of wander around it. But here, like, there's a whole sort of story to it. So there's a thing up there we should probably get to think about. We are low on everything. And really, I blame you, sir. I'm the bad way. I'm the bad way. We're fine. I also like the multiple systems. I like how you have your own sort of personal leveling with your levels. You have your influence, and then you have the power. It feels like the power isn't utilized quite as much as it should be. I wish they would have balanced the power and the influence gained a little bit more, shifted slightly towards influence, because it feels like you just start getting ridiculous amounts of power. Admittedly, I did get to the point in my last playthrough where I completed as much as I had too much, or not as much as I had built up, like seemingly bottomless reserves of power. I did get to the point where I actually spent it all and didn't have enough for what I was going to try, what I was trying to do. So, you know, maybe it's not quite as unbalanced as it seems, but it definitely feels like the influence gain isn't quite up to the same level as the power. But probably because the influence game potentially has more things you get from it. So, anyway. Like, influence gain gives you things like, you know, more new conversation options, 50% experience from doing this, that, and the other. So, and later things later on. So it's you know, it's a lot more powerful in terms of personal character growth than powers. Power is what opens up the areas to do it in the first place. So. Once you get the hang of it and how to use the mini-map in your self-marker versus... I'm used to playing other games where you rely on the mini-map to get around. Here, you rely on the mini-map to get you where you're trying to go in combination with your personal marker. As opposed to just the mini-map itself. And once you get used to the system, you know, it works fine, but... Look at that hinterlands out, man. You got clouds in the sky. It's gorgeous. Apparently it's the biggest zone in the game. Which, like I said, is... My opinion is that it shouldn't be. My opinion is it should be the third biggest zone in the game. And there should be two that are tied for the second biggest, and one that's literally the biggest. And that should be one you get to later on. You just don't want to, you know, it's not bad to be this big, it's just, it should still be this size, but this size, you shouldn't shoot your load all at once. Like, shoot your water early. Like, I love how big it is, but it's... I don't know how to run it. There it is. I love how big it is. I just feel, ever since I read that information, I just felt like, you know, all the other ones were just going to be disappointing because they were so small in comparison. And that's not how you that's not how you think about things. So, you know. I don't know, I'm fucking wondering, you're a bad person.
Templar bastards killed my husband and stole the ring from his finger. They deserve to die.
You're saying the Templars attacked your husband?
Aye. He was digging out a stump. The fools couldn't tell a shovel from a mage's staff. Had to be safe, they said. Rebels everywhere attacking by surprise, sick bastards. They took the ring I gave him on our wedding day in case it was magic.
Farewell.
Okay, I'll be back later.